Hey, if you don't like intros, skip to this timestamp. Welcome back to the Ultimate Doom Iceberg. It's been a while because I've been working on this on and off for a while. Some things have been coming up. Today we're covering tier 3, technically 2, because I don't count the first tier as 1. And this is more really only good Doom fans are going to know. Still kind of surface level, but if you've been in the community a while, you're going to know this. Also, I'm going to have this chart in the bottom left at all times to kind of show how much I know about a topic or how much I think I know about a topic.
Don't know how many people need to hear this, but Doom 2016 is not a reboot. I don't know why everyone just ignores the fact that in Sentinel Prime, in the cutscene, the priest holds up the 1993 helmet after the Night Sentinel says, "We found him in the valley just outside the castle walls. He was badly wounded and wearing this." It's Doom Guy. Why do people think it's a reboot? It's so clearly not a reboot.
Doom 2016 is a reboot?
Okay, just hear me out. There's such thing as a soft reboot and a hard reboot. A hard reboot is when they completely scrap all continuity, all story, and start fresh. Whereas a soft reboot is where they still keep that continuity or only some of that continuity, but start in a new, refreshing way for the series. Some examples include Top Gun Maverick, Halloween 2018, where they still keep some of the story, if not all the story, but start up a new kind of hype around it, which is exactly what Doom 2016 is.
Doom 2016 is a reboot, but it takes everything about the Doom brand and brings it together.
Now, some say Doom 2016 was originally a reboot, and then they retcon that for Doom Eternal story, but we'll get into that in a later entry. A lot of people like to say Doom was the first-person shooter, but that's just not the case. Some even saying, oh, it was actually Wolfenstein, but that's not the case. The first FPS game was likely Maze War and Spasm, and there's so many other first-person games, but a first-person shooter wasn't really like pioneered again until Wolfenstein, which made it more fast-paced. And then Doom later on introduced more 3D elements, even though it's not technically 3D. We'll get into that again. Quick switching is a technique where after firing you immediately switch to another weapon to decrease your time not attacking. This can be looped between 2 different weapons on console. You can kind of use more if you use the weapon wheel, but if you use a mouse and keyboard, you can use the number keys or different binds to switch between any weapon you want. There's many advantages to quick switching as it negates a lot of reload time and you're constantly attacking your enemy. The most simple one is the super shotgun and the ballista. Once you find that out in Doom Eternal, you're set. However, there's more advanced things you could do, like these psychos who master this. I don't know how they do it. Created and still overseen by Christoph Grafzal in 2005, GZDoom is what most modern Doom fans use to play different WADs. Derived from ZDoom, made in 1998, which had compatibility with Boom, complete support for Heretic, Hexen, Strife, and Chex Quest, as well as many additional new features including slopes, uncapped frame rate, and Z-clipping. It was originally based on the merger of the ATB Doom and NT Doom source ports. GZDoom has support for Windows, Mac, and Linux, and has its own coding language known as ZScript, with ACS and Decorate from ZDoom. GZDoom is known for its extensive modding and graphic capabilities, and as I said in the previous video, it has many games made from it. Many of the sprites you see in the original Doom are just photo scans, many of these being from toys. The melee fist is Kevin Cloud's bare hands with a knuckle duster on. The pistol is a Beretta 92 FS model toy pistol. The chainsaw is a scan of this Eager Beaver chainsaw borrowed from a girlfriend of Tom Hall, as well as the chain gun being a Tootsie Toy all painless chain gun. The rocket launcher is a rifle accessory of a G.I. Joe Hall of Fame 12 Duke 1991. The plasma rifle is derived from a Rambo M60 toy gun, which it can be hard to tell at first glance, but as you look closer you can totally see it. The BFG was a Kree toy roar gun, but has been sold under many different names. The Duke Nukem Easter egg. Yeah, I've never played Duke Nukem. It's on my to play list.
That's one Doom Space Marine.
Doom 2 increased the enemy roster with the addition of some new enemy types and some new and some not so new designs. Being a recolor of the Baron of Hell, the Hell Knight sits at 500 HP with some more watered down stats from the Baron. In Doom 3, we get more of a unique style of Hell Knight with it no longer having horns and being It also has these really tiny eyes, which at first I thought it just didn't have eyes and it went through like smell, which would have been cooler, but no, they're there. This then became the staple Hell Knight design. If you look at some old concept art for Doom Eternal, you can see the Hell Knight has its horns again, which would have been cool because Eternal was favoring more nostalgic designs. I really like how the horns look on the Hell Knight, but I can see why they didn't keep it, as they wanted it to be a separate being from the Baron of Hell. Doom's iconic name comes from an iconic quote from The Color of Money.
What you got in there? In here? Doom.
Marty Stratton gave Mick Gordon hardly any direction for Doom Eternal. Bethesda wanted full tracks before the game's direction was fully fleshed out, gave Mick Gordon no creative information. They promised an OST for Eternal without Mick Gordon ever being under contract, didn't respond to Mick until he contacted Bethesda directly, which led to a non-definite date of April 16th for producing 12 tracks. Marty didn't respond to Mick at all until he contacted Bethesda directly, which led to a non-definite date of April 16th of producing 12 different tracks for the OST. Marty Stratton later replied saying it was definite, and its audio engineer poorly stitched together tracks and was labeled co-writer while using audio demos and rejected tracks for the OST that Mick was never paid for. For example, this banger remix of Into Sandy City was supposed to be played in the cutscene after the final boss, the Icon of Sin.
Because I know in Doom Eternal you did this remix of Into Sandy City. Down.
Yeah, that was never even meant to be released. That was actually rejected by someone. My plan for that track was that I really, really wanted the game to kind of have throwbacks to Doom 2, the original Doom 2, as much as possible. And there's this great moment at the end of the game. I don't know, for anybody who hasn't played it, you finish the final boss. You fight this demon on the top of a skyscraper. And then when the demon dies, the camera was going to pan around and sort of zoom out from you, the Doomslayer, walking toward the edge of the skyscraper. And I saw it and I'm like, oh, you know what would be the best thing there? Is Into Sandy City, right? You kill the bad guy, you turn around, the camera starts panning back and bum 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 bada bada. And I'm like, oh my God, I mocked it up and I got goosebumps. It was that cool, right? And I knew Doom fans would just be like, oh my God, that's perfect. So anyway, I put it together and I sent it off and it got rejected.
Marty then demanded Mick Gordon call him and then proceeded to grill Mick out, saying he's being, quote, too fucking nice. Mick and Marty then agreed to make a joint statement later on to refrain from making any social media post. And then Marty just doesn't do that. Instead, Marty Stratton puts on his fedora, grabs his jar of Soylent as he goes on Reddit and makes a call-out post. He then gets lawyers involved and refuses to take it down upon Mick's request. Mick contacts the r/Doom subreddit mod, who is also the Doom's Discord moderator, and asks to take it down. He did, then later puts it back up and blocks Mick Gordon. Marty then tries to gag order and NDA Mick, and that's only some of what happened. After all of this and 2 years of having his name slandered and being doxxed, with his family threatened, pets threatened, and told to kill himself, he makes a whole ass book defending himself with 1,400 words where he goes into more detail about what happened. ZeniMax called the situation a, quote, ball ache. Mick even talks about how this isn't the only time Bethesda has done something like this to him. To this day, Mick Gordon has not been paid entirely for Doom Eternal. Mick Gordon has said, quote, I never quit Doom, I quit a toxic client. I heavily encourage you to read the post for yourself because it's worse than I can describe. After this, Bethesda tries to cover their ass in a now deleted post of them saying they have evidence to disprove Mick but won't reveal it. You've probably heard the term vanilla software for games such as Minecraft and Doom, obviously. Vanilla just means you're not adding anything to it and the software or game is in its unmodified state. Basically, vanilla ice cream, you don't add any special toppings, you just have standard ice cream. Vanilla Doom refers to the original DOS game or DOSBox engine, not source ports. Now, okay, stay with me here. You can have vanilla gameplay in source ports by having no free look, jumping or crouching, any custom weapons or enemy behavior. And then there's vanilla campaign, which means you just have no custom levels. And vanilla compatible means that you can replay a demo of the game in Doom.exe, Doom2.exe, and so on. There's Chocolate Doom, which has strict gameplay to make it as similar to the original DOS game as possible, but still not vanilla Doom, but is vanilla compatible. I got most of this info from DoomKid's video on the topic, so if you want a more in-depth and probably more clear explanation, go watch his video. In short, vanilla Doom means you're playing Doom on DOS with no mods, period. In 1995, it was estimated that Doom was installed on more computers than Windows 95, which prompted Bill Gates to consider buying its software. They then started working on Doom 95, which was kind of purposed as a way to show the operating system as a gaming platform. Doom 95 is included in many later releases of Doom, Ultimate Doom, Doom 2, Final Doom, and etc. The port has some unique cheat codes to it, such as the ability to kill all monsters in a level. Microsoft stated that with the port, this declared the end of MS-DOS, which was a little ironic considering they used DOS in some of their programs. It was initially a preview in a Games for Windows 95 disc to show off games on the new Windows 95 software. With this came the video of Bill Gates in a trench coat, holding a shotgun by the barrel, shooting zombies in E1M2. A door going up and down constantly for some reason, and I couldn't find any high quality version of this video anywhere. This video from 2006 on YouTube says it hadn't seen the light of day since 1995. I wonder if we'll ever get a high resolution version of this video, or maybe it was already in bad quality when it was shown off. Some sprites are missing in the original Doom as a way to either save storage or they were simply just looked over. One of the rotations of Doom Guy and the zombie men holding their gun on their side is missing the right side facing sprite. In game, they just use a mirrored image, which makes it look like they're switching weapons. This is also the case for the imps attacking animation. Despite this, promotional art, the game's manual, and shareware promo show some of these missing sprites. These missing sprites were shown off by John Romero in 2014 on Doom's 21st birthday. There are tons of unused sprites for the game, and recently with the re-release of Doom, we got this id vault showing off more. Some were repurposed for the campaign Legacy of Rust, and I'll put that in extra life mode because I made this Iceberg before the re-release. If you play the original Doom as a modern gamer today, the first thing you're going to notice is that you can't look up and down. Some game engines that were derived from Doom's engine, like Heretic, Hexen, Strife, used a feature called Y-shearing, which lets you look up and down, but it's pretty limited. Now, most modern source ports have mouse look, which let you look wherever you want. And now the Doom community has some debate if you should use mouse look, if you shouldn't use mouse look. I personally don't like to use mouse look just because I love how simple classic Doom is. In Doom Eternal's community, there exists a debate: full auto or sticky bombs. Personally, I hardly ever use the combat shotgun after I get the ballista and super shotgun. Personally, I favor sticky bombs, and if you disagree, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with having a bad opinion. DoomTuber Under the Mayo made a video about full auto being a game changer. This then prompted Doom Penguin to make a response video titled Doom Eternal, the full auto is not that good. Under the Mayo responded to this with a video called Responding to the Full Auto Haters. This led to the Beansprout responding with a video called Responding to Full Auto Haters. This is a heated topic in the Doom community, especially with DoomTubers. There's a whole playlist of this series playing out. I suggest you go watch it for yourself. If you collect all the cheat code collectibles in Doom Eternal, you get to play the original Doom, and then if you enter Flynn Taggart, you can unlock Doom 2. When the game first released, there were some issues with the port. Some people couldn't save, the sound effects would glitch, the Super Shotgun reload sound was the door SFX. The game was updated later to use the BFG version of the ports, and I'm honestly getting a lot of this information from Civ11's video about Doom Eternal. He said they originally didn't have the WAD files and they were later added, but I couldn't find any source of this other than Civi. When I made the Iceberg, I combined several different other Icebergs, so this one might have been worded weird. It's not necessarily inaccurate as far as I can tell, but also not perfect. I might have just been wrong myself. I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember. The Doom 3 shotgun sucks. If you look at that spread, it's all you need to know. This gun feels like it only does damage if you shove it down a demon's throat. You only load 4 shells but get 8 shots. Some say the low reliability increases the horror. It's been stated over and over again. Doom 3 shotgun sucks, which wouldn't be too big of a deal, but if you look at past games and how solid their shotguns were from how early the FPS genre was at the time, and then if you ask me, I love Resurrection of Evil's super shotgun, but I think I'm the only Doom fan in the world who holds that opinion. I can't lie. I am only 20. I was born 2004. So I wasn't there when Doom was like first sparking off. So take everything I say in this next entry with a grain of salt. Zandronum was derived from its parent project Skulltag in 2012, since Brad Connery Carnival requested the name Skulltag not to be used by the project, over which he had no control. They asked to find a new name. Two of the most popular choices were Andromedium, Inferium, which emphasizes respectively Doom's sci-fi and occult elements, and then they wanted Z to be in the name to reflect GZDoom's affiliation. Zandronum supports up to 64 players in cooperative deathmatch, team deathmatch, capture the flag, possession, domination, invasion, last man standing, survival, and other game modes. With rebranding, the team decided to change the goal of the source port, with Skulltag having started out as a mod rather than a full source port. In light terms, Zandronum is just multiplayer classic Doom, which was pretty hard to accomplish before we finally got the online support with the newest port. Doom 64's development is just weird to say the least. It wasn't developed by id Software, it was an N64 exclusive. The name led everyone to believe it was just a port. The story took place right after Doom 2, which technically it would be Doom 3. And as discussed before, it does take place before 2016. Doom's game order is strange, because the third game in the series was Final Doom, but that's not canon, at least as far as we know so far. Then Doom 64, which is canon, but also wasn't developed by id Software. But then when they re-released it, they tied it back into Doom Eternal with the lost levels. Then Doom 3 came out, which made everyone kind of forget about Final Doom and Doom 64. Then Doom 4 was going to come out. We'll get to that. And then they showed off Doom 2016, which everyone thought was a reboot, which it's not. And then Doom Eternal, and now Doom the Dark Ages, which takes place between 64 and 2016. Okay, I'm going to be real again. I didn't grow up with this, so I'm very, very uninformed about this entry. As far as I know, Skulltag was a multiplayer Doom source port similar to Zandronum, with different game modes, the main one being Skulltag, where players collect enemy skulls and take down the skull pillars to score points. The project was closed on June 7th of 2012 with the creation of Zandronum by the former Skulltag team. If anyone has a way to explain Skulltag better to me, I will put it in extra life mode, because again, I've never experienced it. I tried to, but setting it up was weird. I don't think they have servers active anymore, but again, if anyone has a way, please let me know in the comments. An annual feature on Doom World on Doom's birthday is the Cacowards, to recognize the year's best mods. Started in 2004 with the so-called 11th edition, which tried to recreate the past events with the 10 years of Doom celebration. The award categories have gradually changed as of 2024. All years have included 10 overall winners, 1 or more multiplayer awards, the Creator of the Year award, which was formerly Mapper of the Year award, pick up the Mordeth award for a major release with a long development cycle, and the Mock award for an outstanding joke wad. Until 2014, the awards also had an honorable mention category with a name matching the wad's theme, such as the Escher Award in 2006 and What the Pope in 2012. A nomination thread on the Doom World forums runs all year long, listing and discussing who should be the candidate. However, there's no formal voting, as the article writers make all the decisions. My favorite megawad is Doom Zero, which was runner-up for the 2019 Cacowards, just because I like how the plasma rifle looks. In 1998, we got the greatest Sonic fan project of all time, Sonic Robo Blast. Then the creator made this. Sonic Robo Blast 2 is a Sonic the Hedgehog fan game using a modified version of the Doom engine based on Doom Legacy. It focuses on recreating the feel of classic Sonic games, and it's not yet complete, as some acts of the zones are missing and development is still underway. It's a sequel to Sonic Robo Blast, a 2D platformer recreating the classic Sonic the Hedgehog games. The reason it's on the Doom Iceberg is because they use the Doom engine, which was chosen because of how well of a 3D environment Doom was. However, it's greatly gone off in its own direction. What's crazy is Sonic Robo Blast 2 has been in development since 1998. I highly recommend Sonic Robo Blast 2. It is an amazing piece of work, and it is incredible of how long it's been in development. In E1M8, the two barons you fight are referred to as the Bruiser Brothers in the Doom Bible, which was originally the main story or concept of Doom. E3 M2 is a hand. If you look at the map, it looks like a hand. It's probably why it's not that fun to play. So this entry's weird. I got it off of another Iceberg I looked at. From what I can find, it's this Doom game, which looks pretty much like Doom. And then you realize it's entirely in Roblox, which, side note, look at this. This game is entirely made in the Roblox engine, and it's just a deathmatch Doom Eternal. It could also be talking about the Room engine, but I'll put that in extra life because that's a little different. The Room 2, I don't know what that means. I couldn't find a sequel to the Room game on Roblox. Again, any info on that, please go in the comments. It could also be I accidentally typed a 2 when making this Iceberg. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And also thanks for being patient. I've been working on this on and off for quite a while now. I finally had some days off to get it all done. I made this less editing heavy because the last one took me like a year of just opening the Premiere file, figuring out what the hell I was doing, and then continuing, and then having a personal thing come up, and then waiting again. So I try to keep it a lot more simple. I've had so many great comments from the last video. Everyone is super nice. Shout out to Updog in the Flesh for suggesting Iowa by Slipknot to me when I requested more metal music. I really like some of the songs in the album. I like a lot of the songs in the album, so I really appreciate you guys interacting with the comments. Petafian, I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. Thank you for the feedback on the audio. I'm very bad with audio mixing. Yeah, I did have the music way too loud in the last one. So I've been trying to get better with that. I'm using Avid Media Composer now instead of Premiere because Premiere has been, all of Adobe products have just been awful with their business practices lately. I'm gonna try to keep getting these out. I have a bad habit of getting distracted with personal projects. I'm gonna keep trying to get these out more and more consistently as they go on because they've been on the back burner for quite a bit. But I've gained a lot of subscribers in the time of the last video, and I really do appreciate it all. Also too, Dark Ages has gotten so much more footage shown, and I'm super excited about that. That kind of is what pushed me to get this out because I was so hyped about Doom again. I'm gonna really be trying to put effort into the next one, but once Dark Ages comes out, I am going no contact, so hopefully I get it out before Dark Ages, but if not, then my video game comes first. Again, thank you guys so much. You guys leave such nice comments, and they are really motivating. So thank you all, and my friend Aiden says hi.